Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today on practical number 7, we're going to talk about the stem. And like the previous lessons, as we talked about the root morphology, and then we talked about the modifications of roots, and also we talked about the leaves morphology, and the modifications of leaves. Now we're going to start to study the stem. We're going to talk about the morphology of stem, and then to talk about the modification of stems. Okay, the stem. What's the stem? As you know, the stem is a part of the shoot system of the plant, which is the central axis, which carries all the another parts other than root. It carries leaves, branches, and fruits, flowers. Okay, so all of the shoot system parts are carried on the stem. So the stem is a plant axis that bears shoot, leaves, buds, and the basal and root. Basal and root. So the stem conducts water, minerals, and food to other parts of the plant body through various systems. Okay, in some plants, the stem is modified to perform other functions, as we will study later, such as storage food, support vegetative propagation, and protection. So stems also can can get modified to perform another functions rather than the basic functions of the stem, which is to bear the shoot part of the plant and to conduct water and minerals and food for the other parts of the plant body. So, as you know from your experiment in germination or seed germination, I hope you observed, or I hope you had observed the developing of stem primarily from the epicotyle in the germination of seed. So the epicotyle is the future stem. The first stem that develops from a seed arises from the epicotyle, which arises or developed upward direction, okay, over the soil, and embryonic shoot within the seed. They usually end in a bud. The stems usually end, the apex end or the upper end of the stem, usually there is a bud called apical bud or terminal bud. Okay, and bear leaves, that we are talking about the stem, bear leaves, lateral buds, and reproductive organs. What the reproductive organs is the flowers. Lateral branches arise in the axil of leaves. If you don't know, the axil of leaves is the angle between the leaf and stem. If you imagine the position of leaf and the stem, there is angle between the leaf and the stem, this angle called axil. So in this area, the lateral branches arise in this area. Okay. All these are acts about the stems. So in the stem, there is usually bud in the apical end called terminal or apical bud, and also there is a lateral buds called axillary bud, as you know, or as you see through your collection of many types of leaves in the previous assignment. You can observe the axillary bud in the axial region. So the stem carries or bear the leaves and lateral buds and reproductive organs, which are flowers. In these pictures, you can see the part of the stem. Okay, and this is the terminal bud here in the apical end of the stem, or the upper end of the stem, called apical bud or terminal bud. This terminal bud usually allow the stem to growth to upward, okay, to elongate, to go further, an elongation for the stem. You can see here also the axillary bud. Okay, and this angle, it's axil, which the angle what I'm talking about. This is the angle between the leaf and the stem called axil, and this is the bud here in this region called axillary bud. From this bud, the branches arises here, and also the stem. In the stem there is a nodes. Okay, these nodes, and the space between two nodes called internode. The space between two nodes called internode. This space called internode. And also we said the stem bears the reproductive organs, which are flowers, and also there is a fruits in some plants. Okay. And I think there are another parts you have seen before. This is pedicel. Pedicel, which is a stalk of the flower, with the stalk which is carry the flower. As you know, the stalk of the leaf is called petiole, and the stalk of the flower called pedicel. Okay, so let us know some characteristics of a stem. It's generally above ground. Generally, that means there is some types of stems may get modified to be inside the ground or under the ground. Okay, but generally it's above. The second characteristic is the stem bears nodes and internodes, leaves and flowers. Number 3, supply nutrients or assimilates from root to leaves. and from leaves to roots. So this transportation of the food through the stem from the leaf into the root or to the root and from the root to leaf. So the stem act like a conduct between the root and another parts of the plant to supply nutrients for them. Store nutrients for supplying other plants parts. So it also can store nutrients for supplying other plant parts. It is some characteristics of a stem. This picture, you can see the node clearly, an internode. We set the space between two nodes called internode, and the node here. You can see the leaf and petiole. All these parts are carried or are attached to the stem of the plant. So let us know some structures or external structures of a stem. Bud. What's a bud? It's a stem's primary growing point. Buds are of two types. They can be either leaf buds, as you see in the picture. So the leaf will develop from this leaf bud, and it's called vegetative in this case. Or it can be flower buds, as in the picture, which are reproductive. Okay, the flower buds tend to be plumper. As this picture, it's plumper than the leaf bud, but apart from this characteristic, the two buds tend to be very similar in appearance. Okay, so the bud, it's a stem's primary growing point. Okay. Also, we have terminal bud or the apical bud, which is the end, or which is at the end of a stem or the tip of a stem, which releases the plant hormone known as auxin. This hormone in many plants releases in the or by the terminal bud in some plants, and this auxin or this hormone called auxin try to stop or suppresses development of lateral buds, thereby focusing the growth of the plant in upward rather than outward directions. So through this hormone, the plant can elongate for upward. The stem can elongate for upward direction because this hormone stops the developing of lateral bud or axillary buds, to stop them from arising branches. In this age, the plant want to get elongation. Okay, so in this stage, the lateral buds will stop by the hormone auxin, which is releases from the terminal bud or apical bud of the plant or some plants. So the lateral bud will be dormans. Okay. Lateral buds. These buds grow from the leaf axil on the side of a stem, as you see this in the previous pictures. Bud scales. The bud scales also you had studied. It's leaves get modified to be a scale to protect the bud. It's a modified leaf protecting and covering a bud called bud scales. In this picture you can see the terminal bud in the upper end or in the tip of a stem, okay, which allow the stem to get elongation to upward direction. But at this time the lateral buds will be stopped or dormant because the hormone auxin stops them, and this hormone releases from the terminal bud. Okay, you can see active apical bud and dormant lateral bud. As I said to you, the lateral buds give the branches for the plant. So in some plants they do not need any more branches, so this lateral bud will be dormant by the hormone auxin. Leaf scar. When the leaf falls down, it leaves a mark on the stem. This is called leaf scar. Okay, it's like a mark left by the leaf falls down. So it's called leaf scar. Bundle scar. This is used in the identification of the woody plants because they are different shapes and different of numbers according to the plant, and it's a mark left in the leaf scar. That means the bundle scar it located inside the leaf scar. You can see them inside the leaf scar. It's marked, or it's marked left in the leaf scar from the vascular tissue attachment. So the vascular tissue attachment to the leaf, and then after the leaf fell down, so it left two marks. One of them are leaf scar, and inside the leaf scar you can find the bundle scar, which from the vascular attachment to the leaf. Lenticel, which are the pores that allow for gas exchange. Spores on the stem, it's spread on the stem that allow for gas exchange. Yes, in this picture you can see this is the leaf scar. So here in this location there was a leaf, but it's fell down and left this scar called leaf scar. And inside the leaf scar you can see bundles. It's clear in this picture. These bundles, or this bundle, was a vascular tissue which are attachment to the leaf. This is the mark of this vascular tissue called bundle scar. It's inside the leaf scar. And here you can see the bud and bud scale, which are the leaves get modified to protect the bud scale, called bud scale. And you can see the bud. I hope all these are clear, but if anything doesn't clear, or if you have any question, you can contact me and ask me. The lenticels, which are pores spread on the stem to allow gas exchange. This is the lenticels, which are pores spread on the stem and to allow the gas exchange. Node and internode. We talked about these two parts before, but now for illustration for them. Node is a segment of stem where leaves and lateral buds are attached. Internode is the space or is a section of a stem between two nodes, or you can say it's a space between two nodes in the stem, called internode. Okay, what is a bark? Bark is a tissue, but it's an outermost layer. Okay, this outermost layer protects the stem, and it helps in identify the wood plant, and it develops with the age. Okay, this is the bark, and this also. If you are interested for the plant anatomy, you can search more about the tissue of the plant, and you can see the different layers and different tissues of the stem other than the bark. But now we are going to talk about the basic things. So what's the main functions of the stem? Stems have 5 main functions for the plant. Number 1 is to support an elevation of leaves, flowers, and fruits. So how does the stem support the leaves, fruits, and flowers? Because stem keep them at the light. Okay, they attach to the stem, they attach to it, so they keep them in the light. If they're not attached to the stem directly, they attach to the branches which are attached to the stem. So the stem keep them in the light, and also the stem provide a place for the plant to keep their fruits and flowers. Okay, because of that, the stem support the plant. Number 2, transport of fluids between the roots and the shoots in the xylem and phloem. If you don't know the xylem and phloem, they are 2 types of tissues in the stem. Okay, and they work as a conduct or as a vascular tissue to transport the fluid throughout the plant, or the parts of the plant, different parts of the plant. One of them, which is the xylem, it transports the water and minerals from the root of the plant to the another parts of the plant, or we can say for to the shoot system. And the another one, phloem, transport the food from where it's manufactured or from where it's stored to the transported to the another parts of the plant to keep growing and developing. Number 3, storage of nutrients. As you know, the stem is storage the nutrients for the plant, and also in some species of plant you can see the stem can get modified to storage food and nutrients. For example, like potato, it's a stem, it's a modified stem. It can storage food and nutrients, and also can storage product of photosynthesis and water. Okay. Okay, number 4, the production of new living tissue. Because the normal lifespan of plant cells is 1 to 3 years. That means the plant cells, the normal life for the plant cells is from 1 to 3 years. So the plant need to generate a new cells for its tissue. So stem has cells called meristems. As you know, the meristems, it's a type of tissue, have type of cells rapidly dividing cells. So these cells, meristem cells, annually generate a new living tissue for the plant. Okay, because the life span of plant cells is from 1 to 3 years. So annually, that means in each 1 year, the meristem of the stem, the meristem cells of the stem generate a new living tissue. Number 5, the stem can also do the photosynthesis process, because the young green stem also performs a minor role, because the young green stem has green color, so it has a chlorophyll in the early age of the plant. And also in some species of plant you can observe the stem has a green color. So this type of stem has a minor role in the production of food through the process of photosynthesis. And also in some species, like cactus, the stem is the chief photosynthesizing organ. The stem in the cactus species has, or is a, we can say also is a basic organ for photosynthesis. Okay, so this all about the 5 main functions of the stem, and it's not all about the stems. We will complete, or we will continue this topic in the next practical, inshallah. And if there any question, you can ask me in the group or in my WhatsApp number. Yeah, see you.